Welcome everyone to night number 1 of the road to the Showdown. How's it going? It's your boys of 33, and tonight we are packed to the brim with IPW action. Once again, as you know, I'm Mr. 33, and this is your card. 8 big bouts tonight, 4 for the women, 4 for the men, and it is cross-divisional play, where the Green League will be battling the Teal League and the Pink League versus the Gold League in Night 1's affairs. Tomorrow night, things will change, and we are looking forward to seeing who will remain. So why don't we find out what action will be taking place tonight? Starting off the night, it is Lyra Valkyria versus Fallon Henley. An age-old rivalry that stood the test of time in IPW finally is relived here on the Showdown stage. Afterwards, it's a nice little battle, a flurry between the role model and the irresistible force, who will advance to face the winner of the previous mentioned Fallon versus Lyra bout. Then we take a trip to the other side of the bracket. The other set of stars competing. 4 more women to talk about here as the Red Queen, the Undisputed Women's World Champion, battles Blake Monroe in the opening round of that side of the battle. And finally, on the women's side of things, it is the Sapphire Champion Julia going toe-to-toe with the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, to kick off round number 1. Then, the men take the center stage to finish out the night. CM Punk, Shawn Michaels, the first of those bouts, followed by Seth Rollins and the Monster Abyss. Then, it leaves you with a co-main and a main event, of which the first is the Ruler versus the world's strongest man. Who takes the victory? Who takes the biscuit there? Well, one thing's for sure. The main event is filled to the brim with biscuits as the Tribal Chief, the OTC, goes toe-to-toe with the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay. It is a big night of action. Win and you stay to fight tomorrow night. A loss and we say goodbye. Thank you for your time in this tournament. Well, the stage is set. The ring ready. It's time we toss it to talk about your opener. The age-old IPW classic. It's Lyra Valkyria versus Fallon Henley, live and in an IPW ring right about now. Woo! 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 Well, New York, New York, welcome to the Showdown, the big stage for your biggest tournament.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring from Dublin, Ireland, Lyra Valkyria.
Woo! 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 Valkyria set tonight to go toe-to-toe with Fallon Henley. And from my perspective, this is the big clash on the women's side of things. I would say there has been some interesting scorelines between these two. Fallon owning the standard primetime breakdown record over Lyra. But when it came to the Showdown, when it came to this big show, Lyra stood tall and took the dub over the former women's world champion.
And her opponent, representing Fatal Influence from Chelsea, Michigan, Fallon Henley.
For Fallon, this year she looks to go a step beyond where she finished last year, falling out in the semi-finals to Io Sky. Chance now for Henley to ascend past where she finished last year. Cowgirl looks ready to go. No weight on her shoulders this time. Well, the stage is set. Your first battle underway. Teal League versus Green League, and it's Lyra Valkyria out of the gate first. Waist control lost, though. Now Henley applying the wrench. Lyra now shifts it around. We're jockeying for position. Lyra taking down Fallon. And first position gain for Valkyria. Headlock still maintained as Fallon battles back to her feet. Wrenching in deep is Valkyria. There's a big toss. Battling, you have to feel the speed will always favor Lyra in this situation. Henley needs to find a way to utilize her power, that counter-striking style, to overcome this Valkyria offensive. Now, realistically, these two know each other so well. Literally, Fallon's 1 year defense was against Lyra. And Valkyria fell short, obviously, that night. It still set the tone for this title reign that she was on. Now Henley. Irish whip sending Valkyria running. Big drop kick. Fallon's finding her footing. Oh, but here comes Lyra. Clothesline after line. Big leg lariat. And now the cover. A lot of damage done to Fallon early. And that 2 count signifies it. The kick out's still there. But former undisputed champion. And I'm going to stress undisputed. Unifying the titles, but... well, that's Kiana James's music. This tournament... obviously, we try to keep it so there's no backup, but still, the Fatal Influence manager finds a way to have an impact. Chair shot to Lyra. A referee sees the evidence. Not gonna do a thing about that. Not even gonna DQ Henley. But the cover, quick kick out by Lyra. And that's purely because Valkyria has only really suffered that chair shot. In terms of offensive from Henley. The Irish whip into a hip toss. Lyra needs to battle back here because the former champion is starting to pick up momentum. Got a sledgehammer in play. Where did that come from? Either way, Fisherman's Buster attempted there. Lyra not going to get it, but sledgehammer's tossed to the ground as the cover comes through. Fallon now in a bad position, and Lyra able to almost get that 3. And it looks like we've got Kiana James inserting herself outside the ring. Well, we didn't want interference in the entire Road to the Showdown tournament, But we've certainly got it to open the night. Pump handle suplex from Fallon. Sending Valkyria crashing to the canvas and then the boot caught. Almost a hoedown coming through, but Lyra's not going to allow that to come to play just yet anyway. Neutral territory here. As Lyra tries to scoop up, can't get it instead. A little scorpion death drop out from Fallon. Put the pressure on. Now ascends. Gonna launch. Oh, drop kick. Just gonna go to the wayside. Drop down. Clothesline connects. Valkyria. Leg drop attempted. That's how she won the television championship, was a leg drop off the top. But here tonight, the leg drop's not going to connect. Fallon's not even going to connect either. Lyra wrenches the arm. Punch from Fallon. Breaks the grip. Irish whip. Arm drag takedown. Fallon charges in. Kick to the gut, but Lyra's still standing. Famous from Fallon connects. Lyra down. The cover coming in. Referee slow to the count. I think dealing with the turnbuckle pads. But it's still a 3 count for Fallon. The first star making it tomorrow is Fallon Henley. Obviously, we will be seeing Fallon now, as well as Liv Morgan on this side of the bracket. We're about to find out the third star making it to, well, this side's tomorrow battles. We will be seeing.
Here is your winner, Fallon Henley.
10 matches tomorrow night. Potentially 2. Well, no, it's guaranteed 2 for all of them. 3 for those who make the phenomenal run. But light work for Fallon after, I would say, a struggle against Lyra in the initial start of the matchups. But is able to overcome Lyra Valkyria, eliminating her from the showdown. But as we talk about this, obviously the matchups for tonight are decided by seeding. So realistically speaking, the 2 seed was always bound to beat the 5th seed in terms of strength in this tournament. But this one is where things start to get a bit more interesting. It's 3rd seed versus 4th. It is the Green Division's 3rd seed, Bailey, battling it out with the Teal Division's 4th. Nia Jax taking that. So the real question is, who walks in favorite? Is it Bailey or Nia? Well, I can't decide, and I'm impartial as hell. So let's send it to the ring. Let's find out the answer. The role model. Let's the dial spin and fill the arena.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from San Jose, California, Bailey.
Bailey, one of the standout performers of this tournament. The surprise factors. I would have said she was not likely to be 2nd seed, or 3rd seed, I should say. I would have put her as a plucky 5th if she were to make it. But no, she had a great start to the tournament. She popped off in the opening couple rounds, and then she just fell in. She realized she'd qualified. She didn't put as much effort in. She saved her energy for tonight and kept her game plan pretty unpredictable. Her opponent, though, Nia Jax, has been to the mountaintop. She has been here before. She knows what she's doing, and she's ready to conquer.
From San Diego, California, Nia Jax.
Like it or not, Jax has been one of these stars that just trudges through the competition. This teal division was always zany. Everyone was trading victories with anyone. So, seeding-wise, your 5th seeds, your 4th seeds are equivalent to your 2nd seed. Everyone finished so strong. And it came down to a tie-breaking result that gave Nia 4th seed over Blake Monroe. That is the reason why Nia stays on this side of the bracket. Why she isn't the 5th seed. She beat Blake one-on-one. Both finished on 11. Thus Nia took the top spot. I say top spot, the 4th seed. But this second battle underway, and well, Nia trying to get out the gates quick, fails to connect, and Bayley reversing, jockeying for position with the irresistible force, but that is already one shot, and it's busted open the role model. And it was literally just a pull the legs from out underneath you type strike. Just yank the hair and you go crashing to the canvas. There wasn't really too much in terms of explosivity like that. But it shows the sort of power that Jax is packing. Shots landing here for Bayley, but Nia, we know, likes to weather the early storm quite well. Cover, only good for one. Bayley, back to her feet. Nia scoops her up. Fireman's carry. Up to the military press and just gonna drop her. Crashing to the canvas goes the role model. Nia tossed over the top. Bayley's battling back. Not going to go quietly into the wind. This battle, you know, it's going to be gritty. It's going to be tooth and nail. Stomps coming through. Bayley and Nia just jockeying for position. Nia gonna send Bayley off to the side. Now, difference between the showdown and the road is we've not got points to contend with. Countouts are one of just the ways to win. No points needed. They don't matter less than a normal win. And it's important to stress that. We almost got a count out there. Bayley, though, able to make it back into the ring in time before it becomes an issue. Nia continuing with these fireman's carries. Bayley finally able to fight out of one. Pushing still. Jax able to force Bayley off her. And the rump shakers coming through. Jax is just tossing Bayley around with ease. Since minute one, it has just been Nia just punishing Bayley by just showcasing her strength. And Bayley's not really found an answer to the strength game that Jax is possessing. And this could be a pretty bad one. Sent to the corner. Whirled down to the floor. Jax charges in, tries to hit the hip attack, but Bayley avoids. This is maybe the opportunity Bayley needed, but the shot she tries to initiate with, blocked, pushed to the wayside, and she gets side slammed. Nigh finding control, but this is the Bayley comeback. Fired up, she throws a big stiff right, dropping Nigh to the canvas, and this could be where the role model finds the footing. Fired up, ready to punish. Jax slow to get up in the corner, caught, speared, put down, sitting in the square. And Bayley putting her feet to good use. Now ascends, ready to fly. Oh no! The elbow, not gonna connect. Nigh evades the danger. Stacks her in the corner, and this is signature Nigh. No, not gonna get it. Instead, caught and gonna be rose planted. Bayley puts her down, but not gonna cover. Instead, an Irish whip. Drop down. A little leapfrog, why not? Oh, back elbow, not going to connect. Instead, Nigh caught, roll up. Bayley on top. 1, 2. Almost gets the job done. Jax caught, can't punish. Instead, Bayley gonna be in a situation here. Jax hooks her up, takes her up in the powerbomb position. Brings her down, sit out powerbomb. Oh, and a stiff shot, but Bayley's up quick. Resiliency on display. The fight back coming as well. Kick down south. Maybe going for a DDT, but Nigh punches to the abdomen. Gonna block that from happening. Scoops her up. Brings her down with a body slam. And this is where the former Ruby Belt champion can look to punish. Gets her. Stacks her up. One-legged powerbomb. 1, 2. And the role model able to kick out. Able to survive the situation. Drops the elbow. Does Jax. This is the momentum firmly in her favor. Bayley still has some fight left. Still able to keep going, and that is what she needs to do. We said Jax can weather the early storm, but she's already been rose planted. She has faced some heavy offense, but Bayley now going for the cover. This could be enough to get the win. The only issue I would say, though, was the rose plants happened quite early on in this match. Comparative to where we are now, it's been mostly all Nigh from that last pin attempt that Bayley got. Double knees, though. Start to build of momentum for Bayley. Cover here this time. It's good for 2. And that's all it's good for. A little more needed from Bayley, and the Bayley to belly might be it. The cover. 1, 2. The kick out there. John connects. Bayley connects. Hooked her up. Rose plant. Dominance from Bayley with the big shots. I'd say Nigh's had the more controlling possession of this bout. Survives a second rose plant. And Bayley could be running out of energy, running out of the big hitters. How many more she got left in the tank? As the irresistible force could come colliding into her even quicker. The cover from Bayley, good for 2, and she gets the 3. That is a huge victory. as we will be entering tomorrow night. Still divisional battling as the Green League's Bailey will battle the Teal League's Fallon Henley. On this side of the bracket, where the winner will face Liv Morgan. Yes, that tail end of the matchup. Bailey hit the heavy hitters, and the DDT put away Nigh here.
Here is your winner, Bailey.
Busted open in minute 1, picking up the dub in minute 8 of this battle. Huge for Bailey to make it tonight too. In her first showdown, she eliminates Nigh from the competition. Well, we have seen some heavy bouts early, but now we shift over to the other side of the bracket. The more interesting half, I would say, as we will be starting off this side with the undisputed Women's World Champion in action against Blake Monroe. This is a statement-making matchup. Winner take all. Who will do so? Let's find out right now. She could have been second seed, but a loss in her final bout sent her to 5th. But the Glamour, always dangerous, has certainly done some damage in this tournament already. Picking up some hefty wins against current champions in the likes of Stephanie Vaquer and Becky Lynch.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from London, England, Blake Monroe.
Well, tonight Blake has the chance to continue her success. Because she could eliminate another champion. The newest, well, not anymore, one of the newest women's world champions in IPW. And I say one of.
And her opponent from Japan, the undisputed Women's World Television Champion, the Queen.
Well, on Friday for a super special episode of Break Time, we had championship battles galore, seeing not one, but at least 2 titles shifting hands. Obviously, one of those titles that was in contention was the Ruby Belt, held by Becky Lynch. She was challenged by Charlotte Flair. Obviously, both stars fresh off of their Road to the Showdown battles. And, well, the new champion garnered her throne, the Queen. Charlotte Flair took her title as the Red Queen, not defending it tonight, but looking to advance in this tournament. Blake Monroe, we know, can bring it from minute 1, and, well, so can the Ruby Belt holder, Utami Hayashishita. We tied things up. Forced down to the canvas, and then, well, a lariat attempted, but Utami can't connect. Instead, she takes waist control. Blake with a back elbow. Looks to springboard in, and as always, they just walk into that drop kick. Blake, picture perfect as always, and that precision shot landing flush onto the champ. Now, this side of the bracket is the one side that is filled with champions. As a roll-up here, going to be reversed. Blake now in pinning predicament. Utami back on top as they shift positions, but Blake again going for this drop kick and will connect once more. It's just her equalizer. But getting back on topic, this side of the bracket filled to the brim with champions. Red Queen and Julia could be on a collision course to face off again. Obviously, Julia won that battle. Night 1 of the tournament. In fact, I believe it was match 1 of it all. If Utami and Julia obviously win here tonight, Blake going to be sent into the barricade here as the battle continues to flourish. A big time deadlift powerbomb out from Hayashishita. Now, heel hook applied. Blake able to fight out of it, though that leg troubling her now. She hooks up Utami, catches a fist. Big Gamagoya. Count of 7. Danger mounting. Blake, though, going to return the Red Queen to the ring. Now, obviously, both sit on prime time. If Monroe is able to win this, potential for a title shot against the Red Queen in the future. And speaking of the Red Queen, her faction mates of Queen's Quest, Saya Kamitani and Momo Watanabe, found victory on Friday on break time, winning the tag titles as Blake hits the glamour shot. Down goes Hayashishita. 1, 2, and kick out from the champion. Keeps herself alive in this tournament. Slow crawl to the corner for Utami as Blake charges in, misses. Utami just walks out of there, avoiding the shot. Now she looks to punish. Exploder. Sending Monroe crashing down. Cover for 2. Almost puts away Blake. And the Red Queen certainly thought that could have done enough damage. The explosivity of those suplexes that Utami can just hurl at you is so potent. It's why you typically have to question if stars can muster up enough strength to battle with her. Blake, though, happy to battle, but these two are just jockeying for position. Neither willing to back down, and, well, they're just avoiding shots until there. The lariat in the corner connects for the Red Queen. She's calling for the end. The punch caught. Blake, headbutt, busting open the champion. But straight to her feet is Hayashishita. Utami, caught, sent running, put in the corner. Blake, caught as well. She's getting put in the corner as a reversal to the situation. And once more, a lariat for Utami puts down Monroe. Monroe caught. Take it up top. Up into the hijack. Bomb! Cover for the Red Queen. 1, 2, 3. Her first tournament. Her first big pay-per-view matchup outside of winning the title. And, well, she weathered a hefty storm of Monroe madness. The glamour shot came through. Blake hit them big strikes, but they weren't enough. And when Utami gets that hijack bomb, when she finally tosses someone in it, it's a game over situation. Well, a win like this for the Red Queen means that we are getting a second round Japanese bout. It's going to be pretty epic because Utami faces the winner of the next bout. It's Julia and Asuka. Winner goes to round 2 on tomorrow. Obviously, we should point out that obviously on the other side of the bracket, Liv Morgan sits in the following bout after Fallon and Bailey tomorrow. But on this side of things, it is one Lady Flammer that will be the prize battle for a spot in the grand finals. But yes, Utami joins Fallon as well as Bailey in the quarterfinals to finish out tomorrow night. Anyway, one more battle in this women's half. It's Asuka and Julia.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring, representing the Kabuki Warriors from Osaka, Japan, Asuka!
Well, we've already discussed one third versus fourth seed matchup in terms of Bailey versus Nigh, and you saw how close that affair was. This, I would say, offers the same level of insanity. Asuka, the Teal Division third seed, enters tonight, I would say, favored over a champion. We don't normally say that as well. But in terms of just the status, Asuka, a former Women's World Champion. She is a top star on primetime. Julia has held down this Sapphire division on Breakdown. The mid-card queen. And the beautiful Madness needs to find the madness if she is to win here tonight.
And her opponent from Tokyo, Japan, the Women's Pure Wrestling Champion, Julia!
Normally, Julia enters all her title bouts probably as favorite, but here tonight, the Showdown has shown that everyone is susceptible to losses. What has been nothing out of the ordinary in terms of results on this women's side. Outside of probably, I'd say, Bailey winning. The questions still stand. Will the Empress of Tomorrow overcome the beautiful Madness? A tough question to ask, but it demands an answer. And this bout will determine who walks forward to tomorrow night. Julia out the gates quick. Asuka eating the shots. Nice combo. Stiff punch from Julia puts down Asuka, but she can't follow it up. And we know these two, both big stars in Japan. Julia finding her footing in stardom as one of the biggest names, when she then went over to Marigold as kind of the face for a couple of days of Rossi Aragawa, you could just see she was going to mount up to big things. And well, here in IPW, she had certainly found that in her favor. For Asuka, a short title reign as Women's World Champion, but still a reign. She still had to beat Fallon Henley, one of few people that have ever been able to do that. And that is an incredible achievement. Obviously, what could end up happening is a Fallon versus Asuka final if the Empress of Tomorrow keeps winning or does win through 3 bouts here tonight, well, and tomorrow. Fallon, obviously, it's 2 now after winning today. But these two will tussle. They will jostle for position. And Asuka will gladly make this scrappy. Spinning heel kick. Connects and puts down Julia for a second, but Julia charges in, forces Asuka into a mistake. Beautiful Madness tries to uncoil a stiff right, but forced to go to a kick to the body because Asuka tried to force her in the ropes. Butterfly suplex. And this is where the Beautiful Madness finds her strengths. It is dissecting opponents. Asuka is just going zany. Julia can just bring it thick and fast and cause carnage. Like, that is just such innovative offense. You don't typically see the stuff Julia does outside of what Julia can actually do. No one else is really cocky enough to try it. Julia flies, misses the drop kick. And Asuka gonna punish. Arm triangle applied. But the arm being put through allows for this. A power bomb from Julia to cause a separation. Beautiful Madness hooks up Asuka, takes her up to the shoulders. A spinning Michinoku driver. Cover for Julia. Good for the 2. But Asuka powers out of it. Scaves off that danger, but more danger lurks in the form of an arrivederci. A kiss goodnight. The lights haven't gone out just yet. But Julia kind of wished they did. She can look to maybe put Asuka out. Leaps off the top. A splash to the back. The Empress has got no answer, no response, and she's caught. Pump handle tossed over the top. And Julia could be going to tomorrow night if she keeps this momentum going, but Asuka's turning it around. She's seen her opportunity. A chance to maybe put away the Sapphire Champ. Disrespectful boots to the face. Julia reciprocates with one of her own. Less disrespectful, more damaging. And then a spinning Michinoku. More of like a Falcon Arrow, I should say. She does the deal. And now looks to fly once more. A crash landing on the outside. Asuka to the top as well. Could fly and will do so. Cross body inside the ring. And then a code breaker. Knees to the face. Julia's down. And Asuka's looking to capitalize. Punish. Julia, the arm wrench caught. And now we're going to fall back into the Asuka lock. Center of the ring. Julia, will she be forced to tap here? Big man Gregory says no. Clean break. Back to our feet. And Asuka gonna feel the pain. Ooh, vicious backbreaker, arm trapped as well. Julia goes for the cover. Nearly gets the 3. It was a very near fall there for the beautiful Madness. She's fired up. Big shot drops Asuka. Oh my word. Back elbow from Asuka causes a gap but cannot follow it up. Instead, Julia hooks her up. Northern Lights bomb. The Empress put down. And the beautiful Madness into the cover. 1, 2, 3. The champions are advancing. And we have a rematch on our hands in round 2. As Julia will go toe-to-toe with Utami Hayashishita. But that is a surprise result from my perspective. The fact that it is Julia making it over Asuka, a former world champion. What does that say about our Sapphire champion? The ability to beat top stars on the flip of a dime. Hooks her up here and bang! Northern Lights bomb. Immediately into the cover for the 3.
Here is your winner, Julia.
Well, tomorrow's got a hell of a lot more interesting because we are guaranteed a cross-divisional battle on this side of things between Flammer and the winner of Julia and Utami. What a match that is. But in that same vein, we've got to see an instant classic from the start of the tournament again, and I for one really cannot wait to see that. But for now, we shift over to the men. The women's battles are done and dusted. All that remains is, well, Carnage. As we kick off the men's side of the bracket, it's CM Punk versus Shawn Michaels. I have no favorite in this, but all I can say is, will the show be stopped, or will we set it straight? Let's find out now. Well, Wembley had this, All Out had this song. Some arena in America did for WrestleMania. It was Chicago, probably.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Chicago, Illinois, weighing in at 227 pounds, CM Punk.
Well, Punk has found his success by rolling back the years in this tournament, channeling different personalities. And tonight, the old school looks to reign supreme. We've changed out the ropes, we've changed out the mat. The arena lights alter as the men's action sets to take over. voice of the voiceless, trying to stir up the action, because he is in for a war with a showstopper, a heartbreak kid. Less
His opponent from San Antonio, Texas, weighing in at 227 pounds, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn.
last night he was out at ringside for his boys, Road Dogg and Jesse James, his title match. Now, obviously, the result didn't go in favor of DX. They still kept the gold in that faction. For Michaels, now his attention shifted. Primarily goal is to win this entire tournament. He fell short last year. This year, he's got to beat a very game CM Punk. Will he be able to do it? We shall see as the Pink Division's Punk battles the Gold's great Shawn Michaels. We're underway with a crowd behind the voice of the voiceless. And Punk, happy to hear their calls because he's caught off guard. Shot to the back of the knee by Shawn, who flies through the air with a moonsault. You have to feel these two greats ready to bring the pace, quick and effective. So far, we've seen similar battles through the night. I'd say there's only been really a couple that show varying styles, but this is probably one of the closest sort of battles that we could possibly have. The springboard lariat not going to work here for Punk. Michaels chopping away. Knife edge followed up with a backbreaker. Cover comes through. He's not really looking to win it here. He probably couldn't anyway, because Punk resilient, really able to absorb the punishment. Now as it stands, this league, this tournament has seen some very big bouts from all the stars involved. They realize the stakes, and well, tonight and tomorrow we will be showing the tippity top. What is the prize? Obviously, this entire tournament isn't just in vain. It isn't to just say, hey, we did a tournament. Oh no, siree. Prize at the end of the road. You'll find that out before tomorrow's two finals matches is what I'm trying to say. As the cover comes through from Michaels, hitting the back elbow. Cover's only good for two. He ascends to the heavens. Not going for the elbow drop, instead of splash. Cover comes through off this as well. The cover's, again, only good for a two. Roll up now. Punk trying his own look at this. Quick kick out. Michaels stays alive, knowing that Punkadoodle-doo needs a little more. Oh, Blue Thunder from Punk. 1, 2. Nip up from Michaels. He's getting back on the offensive. Hooks up Punk. Sit out powerbomb. Punk fired up as well. He drops Michaels. This is just to-ing and throwing between these two guys. Springboard senton not going to work for Punk, and he's going to probably pay. Tell line, the boot to the stop body stops Michaels. Cross body. We're just jockeying for position here. I have a feeling Michaels is in the better of the two. Scoop Slam puts down Punk, and the band is ready to be tuned. Sweet, no. Back heel from Punk. The band needs a little bit more limbering up, it seems. Because the straight edge superstar's not having it. And instead, he's ascending up top. Hooks up Michaels. No, we're going to see it. A little Pepsi plunge. Some may call that a pedigree. But it's the Pepsi plunge from Punk. Maybe a little statement to Michaels from his best friend. Well, that's a butterfly. That could have been a pedigree. Less of a Pepsi plunge from a standing position, but Punk's hit big. Michaels yet to hit his kill shot. And that could be costly, because Punk could be closing in on the dub. We know the stakes. It's a place in the next round, a place in the quarters. Michaels ascends to the heavens. This time to drop the elbow. Lands it flush onto Punk. And that is usually followed up with the bend. Finally tuning up and not connecting. Punk will not be on the receiving end of Michaels' heels in his face. The jaw of Punk remains unshattered, and that is huge for his chances in winning this. Michaels fights back to his feet. Kicks down south, hooks up Punk. Takes him to the powerbomb position and gonna bring him crashing down. Why not? Is it third time's the charm? Indeed it is. Sweet chin music ringing off the jaw of Punk for the 3. And Michaels advances. Well, we've seen our first male star advancing. The gold division, second seed, expected to advance, and does so. All the expected higher seeds are beating the lower seeds.
Here is your winner, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Except for Oscar. But what that tells you is we're in for a treat, because our next bout will determine who faces Michaels. Will it be Rollins, or will the monster have some success? As we send it to the ring, our second men's opening round battle. I love a bit of fire, 'cause this is a perfect match for it.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Tappan
Well, the crowd serenades the architect, the visionary, Seth frickin' Rollins, as he readies himself to face the television champion. As we also listen to their melody, it's all about to burn down. Because the monster's here. And anarchy hits the arena. Pew!
And his opponent from parts unknown, weighing in at 350 pounds, the undisputed television champion. He is the monster Abyss.
Well, the television champion has been a solid force in this tournament. As we go third versus fourth once more. You have to wonder, can the monster overcome the architect? Question we'll find out the answer to now as we get underway with this brawl. Rollins getting dropped out the gate. Abyss quick on the offensive. Not something you typically see from him. His speed, but he is bringing it here. Realizing maybe that's what he needs to do if he is to beat Rollins here tonight. But Seth quickly turning the tune on that sentiment. A sling blade followed up with a springboard maneuver. Gets the monster off his feet. But the monster wisely rolls out. He gets a couple of seconds to reassess the situation, to reconfigure his attack. Big shot from Rollins. Takes waist control. Side Russian leg sweep. Puts down the monster, and now the monster's not happy. Back rake onto Rollins, and waist control garnered. And wrench on this, keep Rollins at bay. One of the big things that makes Seth so good is his ability to use his strategies to speed up his attacks, to know when to target an opponent. And that's what makes Rollins such a strong star. He is a former undisputed world champion. The monster, a two-time television champion in his second reign right now. He's, I would say, probably one of the most durable stars in IPW, but when it comes to defending that belt, he has done great things. As Rollins hits the frog splash on the back, the cover comes through. Good for two, but the shoulder comes up immediately on that too. Knees come up as well. Abyss now turning the tune in his favor. Ready to strike. As Rollins caught, fireman's carry. From the monster, delivers snake eyes. And those snake eyes have a ferocious bite. As that's busted open Seth. And he's caught torture rack position for the big torture rack bomb. Hung out to dry. The cover here for the monster. Gets a two. But that is the biggest shot of the match. coming out from the lower seed. And that lower seed's looking to finish. Black hole slam. 1, 2. Rollins able to kick out, but he needs to be picture perfect from here. Gutbuster to the monster. Start the comeback. Drop kick to follow it up. I have a feeling Rollins will slow this pace down to pretty much a crawl as the monster's getting punished. A drop kick in the corner from Seth, and now hooked up. This could be bad. A buckle bomb. My word. You don't see that too often, and there's a good reason. It can damage you permanently, and this can put your lights out permanently. The curb stomp good for Rollins to get the 3. Seth is not playing around. Can you blame him? He wants to win it all. Everyone wants to win it all. And the monster had his moment. He hit it. First that torture rack bomb. Then the black hole slam. But no. Rollins buckle bombs back. And then bang. The lights go out. The stomp puts Abyss to sleep for the 3. And thus, the visionary, serenaded by the audience, advances to tomorrow night. And now we hit your co-main event. The big boy bout. The 2 breakdown hitmen. Who's gonna hit harder? That I really want to find out. So without any hesitation, without any pause in the action, we're gonna find out. We're sending it to the ring now. The Hall of Pain. Could be inducting a new star, a ruler, into its ranks. Or will it be conquered? Those are the questions for this one. These 2 have teamed together to destroy puny stars all across Breakdown. But tonight, the friendship is no longer there. It's all about winning this tournament. And a man who's been looking to prove his worth here in IPW, who has struggled to capture the gold, now must show he is a fighter. He is a ruler. He deserves to be here.
And his opponent from Lagos, Nigeria, weighing in at 310 pounds,
The questions stack up on the ruler here in IPW. He flew out of the gates in this tournament. He put on some big matches. Once we reached the halfway point, the ruler became susceptible. He became easy pickings. The dominant streak that he had no longer existed. Tonight, he needs to find the form he had in the beginning if he is to beat Mark Henry. The stage is set for your co-main event. It's Mark Henry versus Obafemi. And it's straight out of the gates. Mark Henry on the offensive. Waist control garnered and, well, inverted body slam puts Oba on notice off the start of this battle. Just pummeling Oba. And this is what we saw out on Nigh. The game plan was just to toss about your opponent. Make it disorientating, not give an opportunity to strike. Obviously, that game plan did not work out in the end for Nigh. It was susceptible to one thing and one thing only. Bailey's willingness to go blow for blow. Oba really needs to muster up that sort of style. The blow for blow, the battle, the keep Mark at bay sort of phase. But Henry, he needs to just keep on trucking. That is what he's doing right now, but that boot from Oba's going to stop the initial from going all the way to the finish line. Mark lies in wait. Allows the ruler to get up to his feet just so he gets ease of access to lifting him up and tossing him back down to the canvas. Early cover here for Mark. 1. And that's all. A little more needed to get the win here to start the night for, well, to finish out the night, I guess, more than anything. I'm struggling to see any offense coming out from the ruler in this one so far. It has been majority of the time Oba on the offensive as he's tossing him back into the ring. Irish whip. Oba is going to be just tired out. He is getting his air miles up in this one. Tries to punish, but Mark just pushes him off. He brushes aside Oba's offense, and that is not good. Belly to belly, finally. Oba punches land. He is causing what he needs to get Mark into some peril. Tossing him to the side with like a border toss. Now an Irish whip. Mark in trouble. Could have been an attempt at the fall from grace. Not going to be the case though. As Oba instead launches Mark to the ringside. A lariat takes him over the top rope. The count initialized as Oba brings the battle to the ringside area. Can't follow it up though as Mark caught as well. Fireman's carry. Up high. Drop to the floor. Military press from Oba. This is Oba reaching his precipice, finding his strengths. He's hooked up Mark. A kick to the body. Smart. Target Mark's engine, his oxygen supply, and he is going to struggle throughout the rest of this matchup. The ruler knows what he's doing. Boot connects. Causes a separation, but it's too much separation. The shoulder tackle not going to work for Oba. And He's going to have to change his avenue of attack. And that fall for Grace is that. 1, 2. Kick out forced. But Oba makes a statement. Fired up. He's got him again. A fall from Grace for the second time. That's it. Game over. The Ruler's found his way and woken up into the tournament once more. We saw early in this matchup, Mark Henry had his way with the Ruler. But then the fight back came here. Bang! Fall from Grace 1 into the square. It was good for 2. It forced a kick out. But then this. Fires up in his face to go bang! A second. 1, 2, 3. Simple as that. Clinical. To get the job done, it was clinical. But what it does mean is the Ruler will face the winner of our main event. And it's a big one. Because it's finally upon us. Will Ospreay and Roman Reigns. 2 main event stars, 1 former world champion, the current Emerald belt holder. Tomorrow night will signify 1 year of Will Ospreay as champion. Or equivalents, I should say, as a year as champion. Because Ospreay won the belt at the Showdown last year, night 2. Beating Roman in that path as well. Will the results hedge the same way? Or can the tribal chief pip back the win? We are about to find out. Your last match tonight, the main event. It's Roman Reigns versus Will Ospreay. Live right now. The tension builds for this bout. It's not the first time these two have gone toe-to-toe. Ospreay always seems to have Reigns' number, which forced him to the new back to prime time.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Pensacola, Florida, weighing in at 265 pounds, the OTC, Roman Reigns.
Now these two are forced to scupper, to battle it out here in the last matchup of the opening round. The tribal chief has been to hell and back since the Showdown. He was always the bridesmaid, never the bride, until a couple of pay-per-view matches after the Showdown tournament. A 2-time undisputed world champion in IPW. While having more titles is great. He has been champion so many times over. Still means he's lost the belt and had to recapture the glory. The opposite side of things, no one has taken the Emerald Belt away from Ospreay. He has led the Breakdown Men's Division since day one, since the brand split. And now he looks to go back to back. He looks to become the only person capable of running it back from round one all the way to the end. Liv Morgan gets 2 buys, and that's why she has got an easier route than Ospreay. The Emerald Champ wants the challenge. You couldn't ask for a bigger challenge in round one.
And his opponent from London, England, weighing in at 191 pounds, the prestigious World Champion, Will O'Spivey!
Like it or not, Ospreay is not a 5th seed star. I would say he is more equivalent of a top seed. Thus making this bout a little bit more interesting. Because on paper, Mark Henry was 3rd seed. Oba Femi was 4th. Oba crushed Mark Henry. Every other bout, bar Oscar and Julia, has gone in the favor of the higher seed. Can we make it a 3rd where the last seed, the 5th seed, overcomes a higher seed? Well, that is what we're about to find the answer to, as a great way to start this match. A test of strength. Chain wrestling. Coming out from OTC, Roman Reigns and the Aerial Assassin. Wristlock. And then a takedown from Roman. Shows his skills out the gate, but Ospreay, final cut. He's capable of bringing it to the Tribal Chief. Crossbody off the ropes as well. And it's interesting how Roman landed there, as his foot went straight onto that bottom rope. Just making sure Ospreay knows he can't cover him from that position. Showing the ring psychology. And the OTC known for being not manipulative, but likes to play games with his opponent. Ospreay. More straight leather. Loves to battle. Springboards in. Nice takedown. Roman quick to his feet. Gonna catch Ospreay. Roll up here. Stacks him. Ospreay reverses the pin. Just a couple of 1 counts. But Ospreay first to his feet. You have to expect the speed, the agility always to be in favor of the Aerial Assassin. Roman can and will potentially pick up the pace as this match goes on, but for right now, you have to say Ospreay will be the quicker of the two. An Irish whip and a full-on lariat from Reigns puts down Ospreay. Leaping off the top, he connects with the elbow drop and will look for the cover. More just to wear down Ospreay to force him to respond. The champion has not taken much damage. Ospreay back on the offensive. Boot scrapes coming into the face of Reigns, and why not? Charging in and busting open the tribal chief with a final boot. And while it's caused damage, it may only be superficial, as it was a quick, defiant kick out from Reigns from Ospreay's big boot scrape that busted him open. Now the tribal chief on the offensive. Looks to punish. Oh, charged in, can't connect, and well, has to change the tune. Powerbomb position with Ospreay. Crashing to the canvas is Will's head, and he's now in trouble. Potentially concussed as he eats a Superman punch. And Reigns is not slowing down. The ooh and the ah are spit. The aerial assassin cut in half. That is dominance from Reigns. He eliminates the original Showdown winner, meaning the men's bracket is seeing a new Showdown champion. Yeah, that finish. The pace quickened. Ospreay gets dropped with the powerbomb, then hit with that Superman punch, and then immediately Reigns, oohed and yard, bang, spear. Ospreay, no way to counter it. No defiant kick out. Instead, done.
Here is your winner, the OTC, Roman Reigns.
Well, the tribal chief, victorious here tonight. Rounding out our night perfectly at 5 p.m. Who would have thought? But yes, Showdown night 1 done and dusted. Leaving us with tomorrow night's assortment of action. And we might as well run down the 4 bouts we've got confirmed, as we will be starting off the night. It's Shawn Michaels, Seth frickin' Rollins in our opener. That is then followed by Roman Reigns and Obafemi. Then we finally get to say hello to Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes, as they will take to the ring to face the winners of the previous 2 bouts. After that, the finals on the men's side of things will culminate that Showdown bracket. Then we head and finish out the night with the women. Fallon Henley versus Bayley. Battle between those two could be explosive. Just therapy. Afterwards, it's the Japanese sensations battling it out. 2 stars that broke the mold, leaving Stardom to form Marigold. It's Utami Hayashishita versus Julia. A rematch for the century. And after that, we introduce Liv Morgan and Lady Flammer to the mix. Face the winners of the previous 2 bouts as the same as the men, leaving us then with your main event. The Showdown finals on the women's bracket. Winner take all. Thank you very much for joining me on this hot Saturday afternoon, now evening. I do hope you've enjoyed night 1 of the Showdown. Tomorrow, the action will pick up. It will be explosive. It is going to be carnage to the brim. I'll see you then. Peace out.